Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the preacher. Okay. Some of you may have noticed that throughout the long day, I've been posting a lot of short videos. And earlier this morning, I think I did a live video. It was blackened out. A lot of my live videos lately have been blackened out. But this video is just a quick one. It's not too deep. I'm not that well versed on this topic, but enough to make this video quick and sweet. All right, so I was watching a video, Savvy Sab. She's really good at covering these political things. I love watching her. So anyway, okay, so apparently natives of this land, natives of the land, are being taken to court. This is what I hear, about birthright citizenship and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Because of the 14th Amendment, the 14th Amendment. So, of course, I have a problem with that. I'm Native. I'm Native mixed with West African slavery. I'm mixed. And there's a little bit of quote unquote white in there too. You know, not much, but it is some in there. But the majority of me is Native. That's my foundation. I was already here. My bloodline, my people were already here. And based on my research, I am Creek, you know, Creek. So, so my thought is, okay, well, I'm clearly African too. Clearly, clearly, you know, clearly African, clearly. But I'm Native. I'm Native. I'm Native mixed. So if natives are going to be deported and hauled out of here, how are they going to strip half of me? How you deport, let's say half of me or something? Well, I claim 100% native, 100% West African, and I may as well claim 100% whatever else. You can't be diluted. You're 100% of whatever you are. That's how I look at it. I can be wrong. I can be wrong. You know, I only have like a bachelor's degree in science, literally in science. I have an associate's degree in pre-pharmacy, and then I have a bachelor's degree that is industrial, environmental, um, health and safety. But I took a whole lot of science and biology classes and stuff to get those degrees. Also have a couple of master's degrees, like 2 or 3 master's degrees and 1 PhD. Okay. So I'm not saying that means I'm smart or anything. It just means that I've done a lot of reading and research in my life. And to me, based on all the laboratory work I've done in biology and chemistry and all that stuff, dissecting animals and, just working with lab equipment and all that kind of stuff, I just claim 100% Native American, 100% West African, and then 100% of whatever else that the slave trade mixed me up with. I can't control what I'm mixed with. None of us really can. None of us can control what we're mixed with. We can control what we continue to mix our children with. Period. We can control that to a degree, but I can't control that I'm 100% Native, 100% West African and 100% whatever the hell else. So how are you going to deport the native part of me and leave the descendant of slavery part of me behind based on the 14th Amendment? How do you do that? And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because a lot of natives are already Afro. A lot we have, still here. You know, we're all still here, natives. We're all still here. We have our straight haired natives that look white. And then you have your nappy head natives. Just like Esau and Jacob in the Bible, for example. This is just an example. I'm not trying to make it all deep, y'all. But Esau and Jacob were twins that were born looking like opposites. They look like opposites. So I believe that's how natives are here on this land. Some of us were born straight haired looking people, and the other part of us somehow come out looking perhaps darker, even red skin tones and different hair textures and stuff. We just natives come in different skin tones and hair textures and stuff like other natives of other lands. So it's going to be really difficult to determine who's native and who is a descendant of slaves because there's been so much breeding and mixing of the two. You can't divide me up. I can't be divided up. I can't be divided up. So the 14th Amendment to me covers natives and black people, natives and descendants of slavery. We're all black people to me. We're all black people, whether you're native or descendant of slavery. We're all black. We all, no matter how light a native is, and no matter how straight their hair is, and even though they may speak a totally different quote unquote native language than, I had the ability to, learn or whatever. But at the end of the day, when I look at that 14th Amendment, it includes all of us because we were forced to breed the natives and the slaves that were brought over here from wherever, whether it's Africa or other parts of the world, you know, from Europe. Some slaves were already rooted from perhaps Africa or other places to Europe and brought over. Whatever happened. I wasn't back there, but whatever happened, we all have different history books and things that we get information from. Whatever happened, I do know from experience that the natives and the um, slaves that were brought here were breeded together. And we're all mixed up now. Now, I know that we have people that are native to this land and they are reserved that way, you know, and they tend to look more lighter skinned, straight haired, and all that. And they get the reservations and I get all that. But regardless to that, many of us were forced to breed together. And the majority of us today that look like me, just regular black nappy head people, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much mixing, so much mixing. We're not even talking about white people mixing. We're just talking native at this point and African. Between the natives and the Africans, all the mixing that has happened, there's no way. Now, those natives that have preserved themselves to look a certain way to maintain the lighter skin, straight hair look, I think those are the ones that are being targeted right now. And that's sad. because they're still native. That's sad. So again, like I said, I'm not, no political wizard or nothing like that. And I'm not a certified biologist or a certified anything, but I just happen to have an opinion. I get on here and, you know, talk my stuff, okay. Talk my stuff. But I do know who I am. I know what blood is running through me. I know it's native. I know it's West African blood. I know who my ancestor is. My great great, at least two, maybe one or two, not too many great great. I mean, my he died. Cudjo Lewis, who is one of the founders who built Africa Town in Alabama, which is today. You can Google it right now. You can Google Africa Town, Alabama, and you will see that Cudjo Lewis is one of the main names connected to that town. He's an ancestor. And I have that last name on my birth certificate. I was born a Lewis. That's how close he is to me, you know. And he was straight from West Africa. And he was on that boat, the ship, the last black cargo. He was the last slave ship. He was on the last slave ship that came here. Cudjo Lewis. That's my ancestor. So because of the black great migration, I end up in Detroit because of the black great migration. Look it up. So that's how I end up in Detroit, from that area. All my people are from that area, you know, on my mama's side and my daddy's side is from that Alabama area. I do have some people from Mississippi too. But as far as like the male part of my bloodlines is from Alabama on my mama and daddy side, which explain how I came about, and end up in Michigan and blah 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 blah. So, but yeah, I'm like, what? Trying to kick natives off the land? I got a problem with that. I mean, if it happened, it happened. And if I happen to get thrown in the boat, I just happen to get thrown in the boat with them. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm obviously, West African slave, descendant of, you know, obviously. But I'm praying for the natives that don't look quote unquote black. Still praying for them. Maybe it was set up that way. Maybe it was set up to keep them looking more white so that when this day comes, it'll be easier to catch them and send them off. Isn't that dirty? Well, I'm not going to assume the worst like that, but I just wanted to, mention that that's the possibility. Because again, those are my people. They still my people. And then I don't know. Okay, now my granny, whose daddy was Indian, my granny, Danny Lewis. My granny was Danny Lewis. And she married a Lewis. She wasn't a Lewis. She was a Martin. And the Martin part of me is the Indio part, the native Indio part of me. Now they do look white. My granny was a very, very, I mean, I look dark skinned, but my granny, like my grandmother, my dad is darker than me. My daddy is darker than me, but his mama was very, very light skinned. Her daddy was Indian, but I mean, like the light skin type Indian. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he had like straight hair or not. I don't know anything about his hair texture, but he married a black woman, some type of black woman. They don't know what kind of black woman she was. She was just known as a crazy black woman. That's all I heard. She was a crazy black woman. And that might explain my mental illness, y'all. I'm just saying. We get it from somewhere. So, it's not just, the traumas I had in my life. But yeah, so but my grandmama looked very, very light skinned. And most of her kids, she had like 8 kids, and half of them turned out, you know, my complexion or darker. And then the other half are like light skinned like her. I mean, different hair textures, and it's just weird. People, we just come out all kind of different ways. You can't really just look at a person and know anything. You really got to find out the history, do the research. You really do. And I know we have these DNA tests and stuff, ancestry tests and all that. I wouldn't say, I mean, I'm not discouraging that stuff. I'm not discouraging it. But don't rely on it. Don't rely on that exclusively. Not exclusively. Talk to your people. Talk to your people. I haven't done any of those tests. I don't see the need. I don't, because I've done my research on my own. I have a PhD. I'm trained to research. Well trained to get all up in people's business. So yeah, just wanted to, report out on that real quick. The 14th Amendment is being challenged, revised, looked at. We all should jump in there and, pay attention to it. We really all should. There's no harm. No harm, you know. Oh yeah, this morning's video was on tariffs. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was on. But yeah, so yeah, that's all I want to say, guys. This is not going to be a long video, just short and sweet. I have a problem with natives being deported. I have a problem with it, but I'm not the president, so whatever the president do is what he do. Any other president that's been in that office, I have always prayed for them and been positive since I was a child. Since I was a child, because see, when I'm 55 years old, and I was raised to respect the president. You ain't gotta like him. Who says you gotta like your president? Who says that? You better show some respect. I don't care. Just like our soldiers. When we send our soldiers out to quote unquote defend our country and all that, you know what I'm saying? Do we have to like them individually? No. But we better have their back. We better be praying for them and cheering them on, and and fighting for their rights. And when they come back, we need to embrace them and make sure they have benefits and housing and stuff like that, employment. And I'm speaking from experience. I had my reasons, whether right or wrong, which I admit to being wrong. I divorced my first husband, but he was a veteran. But before I divorced him, I made sure we utilized his VA loan, and I made sure we started a family business, which he still runs today. I made sure, he was good before I divorced him. Made sure all his rights were respected. I knew I couldn't stay with him. It's really difficult to stay with war veterans. He fought in the Desert Storm, and it's really a challenge, especially when you're a young mother. I was a young mother in my 20s and had to work. I had to work, had the kids, and then he came back with a lot of concerns. War. I mean, it's hard to go to war, and he was in the Philippines and Japan. He was sent to two different places in like a 8-month period. And I was pregnant with our first child. And I thought that you wasn't even supposed to, have a husband in the war if you pregnant with your first child. That's what I thought. Well, my husband was sent over and sent back. And all I could do was just look out for him and go on. And I admit I was wrong. I was wrong. But hey, I'm good. He good. He's very successful, doing way better than me. He's successful, wife number 3, doing great. So he's good. So I'm the one, rightfully so, that, you know, trying to, recover in life. I ended up married again and getting ran through and messed over in that one. So that was my karma. So if y'all saying, how dare you divorce a veteran? Well, I got it back. I spent 25 years with the next guy being treated like crap. So I got it back, guys. Okay. All right. So now I'm just, gonna stay solo. I'm just gonna stay solo and keep making these videos and just take care of my kids and grandkids. You know. That's the best I can do. All right, so this is a quickie, like I said. Thanks for listening. Like I said, it's nothing too deep. Nothing too deep. Not on my channel, not that deep. But yeah, natives, what? Trying to get rid of us off our own land? What sense do that make? Mm. Well, good thing I'm covered by the descendant of of slaves. If that matter, if they don't find a way to, screw it up. But the law is the law. This stuff was written, the Constitution, a long time ago. This ain't even got nothing to do with Trump. It ain't got nothing to do with Biden, Harris, Obama, all these current day presidents, the one that just passed, Carter. He ain't write it. None of these people wrote the Constitution. None of them. We're here to interpret it and enforce it. That's what we're here to do. And so that's what's being done now, you know. And I just hear that there's something going on about natives being taken to court, trying to be deported. What? Trying to deport natives? That's a shame, 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 shame. I'm just saying it is, and I'm native. I'm native and mixed. I'm not trying to separate myself. No, I'm 100% of everything I said. 100% native, 100% West African, descendant slave, and 100% of whatever else I was mixed with along the way. Who knows? Who knows? So, yeah, that's it. Click like, subscribe, share my video. Check out, I have 5,000 videos on my channel, guys. Over 5,000 now. Check out more videos. Get to know me. You're either going to love me or hate me. There's not a lot of room in between. It is what it is. All right. You can also donate to my channel. I'm not monetized on any social media. Not yet. Not yet. So you can be a blessing to me if you want to. Just a love offering. My PayPal and Cash App are $ Dr. Leisha the Preacher. Okay. Okay, y'all. Well, this us natives, us West African descendant of slaves, and whatever else we're mixed with. Hey, we all got to stick together. We got to stick together here. We have to, when I say stick together, it's not about, holding hands, singing kumbaya. It's about let's get into these laws. Let's do our research. Let's make sure, things are right. Let's make sure. Let's make sure that our country is not treated cheap, like some type of cheap hoe. How about that? We want to make sure we are treated fairly as a country, in the view of other countries. When it comes to other countries, like the word tariff and all that, we want to make sure we're paid right, and we want to make sure that we're doing fair business, fair trading. We want to pay well and we want to be paid well, period. If people say, what's going to drive our prices up? Well, we've been experiencing that anyway. We have. At some point, when you have to clean your house, you got to go in there and gut some shit out. You do. You got to gut it out. And it's not fun. And I've done it a couple times. I've owned a lot of homes in my life. I purchased my first home through marriage and all. I was what? Through a VA loan. I was what, like 22? 22. Purchased my first home with my husband's VA loan. Our first home. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've been purchasing homes ever since. And this place I'm in now, I own it, clear and free. So, I know what it's like to have to go in and, gut a house out and fix it up and, you know, start over. It's expensive. It's going to cost. You got to roll your sleeves up. You got to be ready to work. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not afraid. I was pregnant at 21 years old. 21, 22, finishing college. My husband was sent to war in our last semester of college. We were both finishing up our bachelor's degrees. It was our last semester of college. He was sent to Desert Storm. And I was pregnant with our first child. And I held it down until he got back. I prayed him back home. Scared or what? I have the Lord in my life. I prayed my man back home, got him home, set him up, and I had to move on. But hey, I'm still alive today and here to be of help and support, you know. And we need to get back to the way it used to be, meaning that no matter what president is in that office, once we as a country elect who's there, we got to get behind that person. If we don't, it's like shooting ourselves in the foot. How can it not? I mean, it's like you have a parent at home. I mean, to what extent do you go up against your parents and expect to be prosperous? To what extent? So to me, going up against your president is similar to like going up against your parents, you know? So anyway, I could be wrong, y'all. I could be wrong. I'm old school. You know, some of us old people, we don't know what we're talking about. Some of us do. Some of us may not, you know. So I know I'm an old 55-year-old woman and I don't even date no more. I'm that old. Don't even date no more. So all I got to do now is just use my little PhD, do a little research, and get on here and do some stuff on YouTube. And, you know, and I get talked about a lot. I get called crazy. You need to go smoke a different drug or something or do something else. I'd be like, I'm cool with my marijuana. I'm good. I'm in the hood. You know, I'm good. I don't need no new stuff. I can't afford it no way. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Bye. I'm a fool, y'all. I know it. All right. Bye bye.